Mahali mbio.
Hii story karibu iende.
Karibu iende hivyo.
Ni story gani sasa nyinyi mko nayo hapa? Mko na swali gani? Naweza fanya story kwa kali. Ndio story mtu ni kutafuta. Tafuta ile story file ndio itatoka.
On caseload and performance, commissioners, I just wish to state that the judicial officers before you are relatively new in the station, but we have strategized on how to have equal distribution of work.
I'm happy to be here. The commission was last year in 2018, and we are seeing there's a lot of progress made by the issues that you have raised and what the commission did last time. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Frida. Filing documents and pleadings through the office email and also physically. So we have that hybrid system. We also have a profile for Marigat. And we are supported to conduct 1 day per judicial officer per month. But what we have streamlined, if you look at the High Court sub-registries, they do not have a budgetary allocation and they are not involved in the budget making process. We pray that they should the budget making process. And I say this because when you go down to the mobile court, there are still witnesses who have to travel to come to that court. So apart from
The strategy support to the commission, Nancy Herman, Assistant Director of JSC.
mobile courts, we have areas like Olowa, which is about 152 kilometers from court. We have Kenyach, which is 92 kilometers from this court. To dispense with interlocutor applications and to proceed for the main hearing of the case, we are also promoting out-of-court settlements. And
again, when we met with the staff, they raised the same issues, and there was delay. But what we've done is repackage it, because we had to measure the ones that have happened, and we had to do that, find the space, then we can initiate the process. I'm very happy that
because the program was interrupted by COVID, when COVID struck, and I'm happy that this time around we've been able to carry them out. Essentially,
thank you so much, and God bless you.
thank you very much, Honorable CRJ, and for me, I'm Olwande. We asked for land in Marigat because now we have an issue with the one that is existing, just as you mentioned Uruk and Kenyatta. I hope I'm pronouncing it right. Yes, those are still, and also areas I remember we mentioned when we were discussing with the governor. So we're feeling.
Thank you, commissioners, because we still have to go to the site and call upon the bishop to pray.
Also perception of corruption. And I know this can never be achieved with the court working alone. We have to work in concert, all of us to come together to make
our social, political, and economic agenda in terms of development. Therefore, I want to appreciate you so much. President's agenda for better, that's bottom up, because I know today, those people here, the CUC, now they know that the top is in
We are sorry for the omission. By the time I went for the sense, we are not reported there. So that's why it was recognized. Thank you.
And one of the challenges that they've highlighted is the issue of access to justice in terms of the distances that people have to travel before they can be able to reach a court. They have told us we have quite a number of people who travel from long distances to come to court, and even to visit the mobile courts that we've established out there in Marigat to be able to access justice. People have to travel several kilometers to even get to the mobile court station. So they've made a request that we increase the number of mobile courts in those areas. But we also recognize that there's a need to establish a permanent court in some of those areas, and in order of prioritizing, because we know resources are not as adequate as we would hope, so we have to prioritize using the limited resources. Yes, we started these buildings a while back, but we had to stop because you will remember in our, what I want to call the recent history, we had challenges with the budget, the infamous revisit. So for quite some period, several financial years, our budget on development was brought almost to a standstill. So that naturally meant we could not continue with the projects that we had started. And even when eventually the issues were resolved and you were able to get money, you realize now the contracts could not continue, because when you are in the middle of a construction and you stop it for several years, if you come back, you'll find whatever, if a bag of cement was then 600, it is now 1,000. So a lot of adjustments had to be done. We fell out with some of the contractors, but I'm happy to report that we've recovered. We have resolved most of those challenges, and we were earlier in Eldama Ravine. The contractor is already on site, and for this court, we are soon advertising for a contractor to come on board and take over from where we had earlier left. I just wish to state that the judiciary intends to spend 400 million in the 2 courts for the construction of the 2 courts. So I am positive that soon the work will be underway.
We have got 3 arms of government, and this particular arm of government has received less allocation during the budget. For instance, you find Parliament getting over 50 billion, while the judiciary gets just around 20 billion. Yet the judiciary is spread all over the country, and it requires massive support on both infrastructure and also facilitate the judicial officers to be able to move in a safe and convenient manner. The courts also happen to be pretty small, and it requires huge capital investment. We are urging members of parliament during the budgetary process this particular financial year to consider giving the judiciary massive support. We are also urging members of parliament. They have done pretty well on the question of providing and supporting the police. But we also want to remind them that the police don't just finish the job. After arresting, what happens? There is need for quick dispensation of justice. Remember, they can only arrest, and maybe within 24 hours, the matter should have been in court. And if they have to take long, that is not right. We want citizens of this country to enjoy justice. And of course, Kenyans will note that the judiciary has stood firm on its mandate and continue to dispense justice without fear or favor. Now we want to roll out access to justice to even the areas that have been ignored over the years or have never had justice. Areas like Baringo definitely require massive investment to be able to reach out the sparsely populated area, and considering that this is a county of diversity in reality, most of the other counties tend to be fairly homogeneous, but this one has very, very many different communities and different needs and different stages of development in this area. So we are urging members of parliament to support us, they can also buy land the same way they buy for the schools. They can also help us with infrastructure. And our judicial officers, we've got heads of stations and we've got judges also. They can consult and advise whenever the members of parliament may wish to support the judiciary. They can get in touch with those officers, who may also contact our CRJ for purposes of the advice and the concurrence.